Hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it. Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest Manchester United news. And I've got to say, although it's no surprise, I'm absolutely fuming. Literally, we've had to change the show this morning, as in the last few minutes it's dropped from Chris Wheeler that players are turning on Amrim again, that they are leaking against Amrim again, and that they are moaning about tactics again. Look, we actually predicted this yesterday. We said, how long will it be in the next 24 hours before there's a leak against Amrim from the dressing room? And lo and behold, it literally was 24 hours. The story is this, from Chris Wheeler, in the Daily Mail. Some players are beginning to lose faith in Amrim's system as results and performances continue to suffer. Amrim may still have their support, but confidence in his methods is inevitably starting to ebb. This is, you know who you can thank for all this? Gary Neville and his crew. This is exactly... A lot of footballers are thick. They're really thick, but they spend a lot of time on social media. So when they turn on Sky Sports and they see Gary Neville moaning about tactics, the light bulb pings in their hollow head and they go, "Ooh, let's get something out there because Gary's blaming Amrim. So if we can get out that we're blaming Amrim as well, that validates Gary and it validates us and Amrim takes the blame." The problem with it is, Gary Neville did this to Mourinho. I say Gary Neville, I mean the collective media ex-player brigade. They did it to Ranić and they did it to Ten Hag. Look, it's like watching a crap film again and again and again. It's like Groundhog Day. Like, we cannot react to this as a fan base and give it any credibility or any validity. We cannot, because it was it not Ten Hag or Ranić where the leak came out about having to train in the dark? Was it not Mourinho where the leaks came out that they didn't have confidence in his methods and felt that he'd fell off? Was it not Ollie where they didn't have confidence in his training style? Was it not Ten Hag where we had exactly the same thing about style of play? And all of it coming from the dressing room, but all of it starting in a very uneducated media. I'm furious with this. I'm absolutely furious with this because these players sacked Ten Hag this season. You are not Amrim players. You have no right to pass judgment on a new manager with a new formation and new tactics that you're not good enough for. Amrim is not responsible for the fact that you can't finish chances. He is not responsible for the fact that you can't mark people from corners. He is not responsible for the fact that you can't string two passes together. And he is not responsible for the fact that you take about 10 seconds every time you get the ball to do something. These are bloody basics, absolute basics. And I'm fuming. I'm absolutely fuming. I've absolutely had it with this fucking football club. It is an absolute shit show. And it goes back to the top again. You have got no control. You've got no control of that club. We are no different a year into Ineos than we were 10 into the Glazers. They've got no control of that football club at all. There's no consequence for poor performances. There's no consequence for paying big wages and doing fuck all. I'm absolutely devastated by the state of this football club and how people can sit here blaming another manager is just soul destroying. Absolutely soul destroying. I just cannot get my head around why this happens. And look, I understand why the journalists do it. They've got to pay the bills themselves. They're client journalists. They'll write any old shit. But it's every bloody time. And you know what? It gets less and less and less. It was season 3 when they got rid of Ten Hag. It's not even season 1 for Amorim, and it's already started. And I blame Ineos for this because they've brought him into a situation that was always going to be toxic, and all the goodwill is evaporating like a snowman on a hot sunny day. It is just gone. It is going, and patience does not exist in this fan base. And some of our fans just fall for the same tactics every time. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And I see people saying tactics, style of play, manager, and I go, oh my God. You're actually going to sympathise with a bunch of players that are not his players, that sacked the previous manager because they couldn't play that style of play, and the previous manager because they couldn't play that style of play, and now they can't play this style of play. And at what point does the light bulb go off and go, maybe these players aren't good enough, and maybe they're distracting you by trying to blame everybody else? I mean, I've never heard... So it's okay for Sporting, and don't start... I mean, I saw Robbie actually yesterday. I saw a clip of Robbie listing off Portuguese clubs. That's all fine and well if he hadn't done it in the Champions League, Robbie, mate. And Arsenal haven't been in the Champions League that much in the last 10 years. So we can all list off shit clubs. But the bottom line is the system works with Sporting in the Champions League very, very well. So the Ajax system worked in the Champions League with Ten Hag very, very well. We can all take the piss out of the Portuguese League and the Eredivisie. But the point is it worked in the Champions League. These players haven't worked with any manager. I'm sorry, if I've got a manager that system has worked elsewhere but won't work here, but I've got players that won't work under any manager, it's a bloody obvious result, isn't it? So if I've got Man United players moaning again about the style of play, and I'm thinking about blaming the manager whose system worked in the Champions League with another club but won't work with these players, maybe I'd go, well, is it the manager? Is it the players? But if I've got players who failed under multiple manager styles, and every manager that comes here worked before but comes to Man United and it doesn't work, I'm sorry, I don't think it's the manager. I think it's the players. I think it's the club. I think it's the owners. I think it's the fitness department. I think it's recruitment. I think Manchester United is absolutely broken from top to bottom, and it's the impossible mission. It's the impossible mission for a new manager because these players are not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. I mean, it goes on to say, it is understood that the disaffected group believes that even when Man United win, it's largely down to individual moments of quality or good fortune rather than a tactical triumph. I mean, that's apparently coming from the dressing room. These people need finding and getting rid of. So, I mean, so basically they're now saying the tactics are so shit that when we do win, it's just down to luck. I mean, hold on a minute. I watched us play against Spurs in the second half and I thought we did well. And I thought we did well because we finally had a left back and we had balance. And that's a signing of, oh, wait a minute, Amorim's one signing actually made us play better because we had a left-footed left back. And yet you've got people from the dressing room leaking about, wow, the tactics are shit. We only win because of luck. Oh, okay, so why didn't we beat Spurs? Oh, could it be because Xerxes and Garnacho missed 2 great chances and our defence is fucking shit and switched off on the back post and didn't close down, and Onana pushed it back into a tap-in for Maddison? We should have beat bloody Spurs. They're acting like we're a bunch of garden gnomes not doing anything. I'm tired of seeing fucking hipsters talking about why Amorim's system's not working. Like they've ever had a fucking job in football. Like they've ever coached a bloody team. The only bloody coaching they've done is bloody whacking the bloody floppy disk into their computer, which is, I know, is 30 years too late, but come on. We actually have got people making videos about where Amorim's going wrong. The guy's been coaching for the last 6 years at the heart, you know, in Europe. These guys are sat in their bloody pajamas writing out notes from Football Manager. Come on. I'm not interested in what your thoughts are on Amorim's tactics, because if you think you're a bloody tactico, go and get a fucking job. Go and get a job in the Champions League and then talk to me about where Amorim's going wrong. Because I don't see it. I really don't see it at all. I don't see a tactical deficiency with Manchester United. I think it's the most low IQ excuse I've ever heard. And I'm bored of it. I heard it with Rangnick. And Rangnick goes to Austria with, you know, one of the weaker European top teams and gets them playing good football against everybody every time I watch them. I saw Ten Hag with Ajax playing good football against good European teams. I've seen Amorim playing good football against good European teams. But they come to Man United and people can't write them off quick enough. Who is this? Who is this Rangnick? Looks like he was a bloody professor. Looks like they've got him from a university in Germany. No, actually, he's one of the best builders of football clubs over the last decade and is attributed to one of the most impressive styles of football in the last decade. So he's not some fucking German teacher that you've never bloody heard of. And that's how he was treated by our press and by our players. And here we are again with another manager with a proven track record being ridiculed by players who are shit. I mean, it needs to be called out. It needs to be called out. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.